Hi, boys and girls. I have a special project planned for you this week. So I hope that you enjoy the opportunity to be really creative and have some fun. We're going to be composing your own pieces to the text of one of two Chinese poems. Okay? So there's another video that you should have watched already. So you've heard the two poems. And you're going to pick one, and then you're going to use household objects or music making devices, shall we say, to create the music for your piece. Now, the text can be sung, it can be spoken, it can be kind of like done dramatically or stretched. Say maybe you want to make the S's really long, you can do that. The sky's the limit, so if you want to do a dance to it, if you don't want to do instruments, or you want to do like an interpretive dance instead while you perform the text, or someone else performs the text, that's fine. Also, you can have your other family members or whoever else is around help you out, play with you if you want. I'm going to go over a few of the items that I chose to play in my piece. And I want you to start thinking about what different items you can use. So the first one that you probably see here are these wine glasses. So crystal glasses, if you get them, basically I just have them filled with a different amount of water, and I have them taped to a piece of cardboard to keep them kind of steady, because they like to move around when you start to rub on them. So I want to show you, if you want to do this trick, basically you can produce a little tone by rubbing the rim of the glass with a wet finger. So you got to get your finger wet first, and then you got to rub it around the outside. And it'll take a little while to excite it and to get it to actually make a sound. And you have to make it pretty wet. So let's see if I can get this. There we go. You kind of get the idea there. And then let's do the other one. Yeah. So you can hear this one's a little bit higher, and this one a little bit lower. So that's why I got two, so I could play around with both. So the more that you fill the glass with, the lower the sound. The less you fill the glass, the higher the sound. So if you want to do wine glasses with water and have a couple different notes, you can pour out a little bit until you get just the right amount so that they sound good together. And in addition to doing it this way, if you want like just a little bit more of a short attack, you can lightly hit it with something. I'm using a pen. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. So wine glasses is one option. I also have some pan lids. So these are really nice because when you hit them, they kind of make a nice sustained ringing sound, almost like a gong of sorts. You can crash them together as well. Very loud. So I'm going to be using those pans. I also have this mostly empty candle that I think makes just a nice little dinging sound. So I'm going to include that. And finally, I have these little shaking objects. I've got some metal teaspoons, tablespoons, and my keys. So those are the items, the objects. Oh, one more. I got this little drum. Well, it's obviously a container, but I'm going to use it like a drum. So I have a lot of different items here. You don't need to have this many, unless you want to. But I wanted to show you a variety of things that have different sounds, right? There's some things that are plastic, there's some things that are metal, there's some things that are glass. So all of those are giving us slightly different kinds of sounds, and that's what I want for this piece. if you want maybe just one kind of sound or two kinds of sounds, and then maybe just have different sizes, maybe you want like 6 different pots, and then they're all different sizes, so you can, hit on the different ones, and they make all different pitches. That'd be fine. Like I said, these are just suggestions. It's all up to you. Be as creative as you can. Okay? So, what I want you to do after you start to get your objects together, take a look at your poem, and I want you to read through it several times until you get really used to speaking it. So I'm going to read through my poem. I'm doing the first one, Spring, and I'm just going to read it for you now. Spring appears in whispers and hushed tones. As the blowing winter bows away, drowsy flowers come to attention, waking from their sleep, yawning with heads turned upward towards the maestro called sun, and watch with anticipation as the concert begins. So there are some tricky words in here. That's why I want you to read through it several times. If you have problems, if you don't understand like what a certain word means, you can maybe ask your mom or dad or an older brother or sister who's around. In this one, you might not know what the word maestro means. A maestro is another word for a conductor or the leader of the ensemble. So they're saying with heads turned towards the maestro called sun, he's referring to the sun as the maestro or the conductor, who's kind of bringing the whole concert to life as a metaphor for spring coming to life. All right, so as I read through this, a couple things pop out to me that I want to include in my piece. So I like that at the beginning there's these whispers and hushed tones. So I think I'm going to use a little bit of my voice as well in my piece, and I'm going to start off with some kind of like wind sounds, which is basically just me making an S sound and having varying amounts of air come out. So that's going to kind of give it like a whispery, wind-blowing kind of feel. And then as the bellowing winter bows away, drowsy flowers come to attention. So for that, I think I'm going to slowly start to use some of my some of my wine glasses to kind of slowly start to get sound coming out from the whispers. Then, waking from their sleep, yawning, with heads turned upward toward the maestro called sun. I think for that, I'm going to just speak it. And then, as I watch with anticipation as the concert begins, while I do that, I'm going to do my shakings, because I'm anticipating it. And then, for the concert begins, I'm going to start with a hit of this, and then I'm going to do some drummy stuff, and have a little bit of singing as well, and I'm going to kind of have everything come together and use all of my items for the end part after that when the concert begins. Okay, so that's my idea, and I just got that idea from reading through the words and imagining what it might look like, and thinking about maybe what sounds would be cool in that context, right? So like the wind and me whispering. Okay, so once you have all of your stuff, I want you to come up with a plan just like how I did, where I kind of went through it and I said, okay, at the beginning I'm doing this, at the middle part I'm doing this, when I say this I'm going to do this, and then practice it. Now you're going to want to practice it several times before you record yourself. You want to try to get it so that you can do it exactly like you want, maybe about 3 times, and when you can do it perfect those 3 times in a row, then record yourself, because that means you've probably gotten it down pretty well. Again, feel free to have anyone else help you out or be involved in your piece in any way. All right, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and wet these, and I'm going to do my piece. Spring appears as the bellowing winter bows away. Drowsy flowers, come to attention. Waking from their sleep, yawning with their heads turned upward towards the maestro called sun. I watch with anticipation as the concert begins.